So this section, there's three more to talk about. It's quite quick, quite easy. You've probably heard of a lot of these before, so I'm going to rattle through these quite quick. Secure transactions. So why you use encryption. Obviously, you want to make sure that your transactions online are safe. So make sure that things aren't uh, seeing like your credit card and stuff like that when you're buying stuff from Amazon or eBay or anything like that. Obviously, your data needs to be secure. Like that's why you'd use encryption. That's pretty straightforward. Like, why would you want to use that? Well, obviously, to make sure things aren't stolen. That's pretty straightforward. I'm not going to go into that too much more. Two-factor authentication. So you might want to use encryption to use two-factor. Obviously, you've got with a lot of two-factor things, it's usually now your phone and say a password, but sometimes it could be password and an email just to make sure that it's been sent to your right account because you can get into your email. Could be two-factor, can also be things like thumbprints and passwords. Like two-factor just means two forms of getting into something. So password and PIN number again. You can encrypt both of them potentially as well, if you really wanted to. But yeah, encryption can be used for two-factor as well. Obviously, single factor is just using one thing, so either password or a thumbprint, or just one of the things instead of two. And some things can use USB memory sticks. That was a way of doing two-factor a while ago. It's technically still is. RFID chip as well. So if you've got a contactless card, technically you can use that as two-factor depending on where you are. So it depends on what you use it for. Obviously, communication data, things need to be encrypted. You don't want people to hear conversations or anything like that. Like Discord encrypts stuff if you use Discord. So does Facebook potentially, or they're supposed to, even though they've leaked a lot of data quite a few times. But they're supposed to obviously encrypt your data, even if that's text or voice, doesn't matter. They've things are supposed to be encrypted so people can't tell what you're talking about because things obviously are private, and you're entitled to your privacy, especially in this country. The government can't spy on you either. So the thing that they use for that is something called GSM. So GSM is obviously the global system for mobile communications. You may or may not have heard of that somewhere down the line. But obviously for telephone communications, like over your mobile, they use the A51 stream cipher in order to do that. You just need to explain that's what they'd use. We might go over that a bit more in another video, but we're just saying what the uses are of encryption rather than how encryption works. But you can know that they use the A5 stream essentially in order to hide that. They used to use A4 and A3, but it's gotten more and more encrypted, so people can't just like basically hold a radio above you and intercept them frequencies and listening to what you're saying. Because a long time ago, you would have been able to, when phones were the size of actual bricks. So yeah, so that's three more uses of encryption. Quite quick, quite easy to talk about. But you'll need to add these to your P4 in order to talk about uses of encryption.